So welcome to day 25 of 100 Days of Startup, where I, Rod Danan, am building Prentus, where we match tech startups with tech interns in 7 days or less. And for those of you that are bootcamp grads, make sure to join our community at prentus.co/community for networking, group projects, and a good old time. So for today, let's see. I started off the day looking for solutions on how to share snippets from our conversation last night with Jay. So anyone that's looked at like video solutions, there's a ton these days. There's Headliner, Wave, a new one called Story Creator, Veed, and I had to test a bunch of them. I also had issues with all of them, so I ended up using just one of the tools called Descript Pro, which is mainly for editing podcasts in general, and the audiograms that they generate, which are those social media posts with like the audio levels and like pictures. So like it looks really cool. It gets engagement. Their audiograms on Descript are really basic, but honestly, after I messed with it for most of the morning, so at that point, I literally just generated it, and I was like, okay, this is good for now. So you can see on my LinkedIn, that's what I posted today. But definitely further refinement to go on that. And then in the afternoon, so I was supposed to meet with one of the current interns, but something happened, so I guess they didn't show up. But I did end up joining the back end team meeting for the Prentus platform. And on their end, it's definitely a complex area, so I'm not familiar with it too much, and they ask questions, and I'm like, as long as it's fast and cost efficient, then I'm happy with it. But I can't really provide much detail. Like I always end up like Googling after and trying to figure out what to tell them to do, but I never really get a clear answer. So maybe it's something where I have to get a tech advisor, which I think I mentioned in previous videos, but we'll see what I end up doing on that. After that, I ended up in an interview. So one of the interviews that I ended up only doing one interview. I think I mentioned I had three initially. So one ended up rescheduling for next week. Another one ended up actually reading the job description now and realizing what they were interviewing for and canceled, which is so confusing why people don't just read it before. But otherwise, the interview I did have today with someone was good. And then I'm also learning from every interview, since it's my first time hiring for a sales role. There's all these terms like on target earnings, average annual cost value, average time to close, like all this kind of stuff. And people ask these questions, and I'm trying to be as efficient as possible answering them. So I'm learning and calculating reading, so that's a good part of it. One thing that I did have to consider, and also the candidates, is the questions. So that's how I've been. Like when someone asks me some good questions, and I show it, and it shows that they're trying to understand the business, because there's not a lot about us online. So if you're not asking questions, like that's a red flag, and the people that do ask questions automatically stand out. And those are the people I also want, because I want them to be questioning me all the time. Why'd you make that decision? Oh, we could have done it like this. Show me a different perspective. And that's the kind of people I want to grow my company with. So I have a couple good people from this past week, and excited to follow up with the people that make sense to move forward tomorrow. So I got some information to prepare for them. That would be cool. On the other part of the day, so I did talk to someone that might be potentially acquiring the assets of my last company, Dananza. So that would be huge to help with that debt issue I mentioned from earlier in the week. And now I just remembered I was supposed to call somebody about that. So I didn't. But yeah, that would, getting any sort of money from somebody buying the assets, that would be great and kind of help with the debt. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's successful. And then let's see what else. I did talk to some other people in the group meetings. I talked with the designer today, kind of explaining what the next steps are going to be. So we're mainly focused on branding next, new colors, need to generate, standard stuff like headers, profile pictures, SEO stuff. Anything that's associated with current colors needs to be updated. So I have a full list, and we're kind of discussing that, as well as the podcast that we want to launch. But The podcast is looking like it's going to be probably end of October because there's a lot on the product side still. But yeah, otherwise, I was also just lighting the fire under everyone's ass for everyone on the product team, because I want them to know, like, now that you're officially considered interns at a startup, you gotta work fast, gotta be scrappy, and even though people are working part time, I want them to know that, hey, there's deadlines and we gotta be moving on this. So it looks like everyone's reacting really well, and excited to see how that goes. So yeah, tomorrow's Friday, shorter day, and I'll make sure to update everyone on what goes on. But otherwise, thank you for watching.